Today, I want to talk about brand building. Brand building is about brand greatness. How do you build a great brand? You must first understand the whole process of brand metamorphosis. Brand metamorphosis is about brand transformation. The brand transformation is a must for a brand survival. Every great brand has a great story to begin with. It is about great dreams, great leadership, great success. It is about carving great inspiring legacy. It is about a great brand journey, a lifelong journey, just like lifelong learning. Let me use the metamorphosis of a butterfly to illustrate the brand journey. Listen to this interesting analogy. One day I was in my garden enjoying the fresh air and sunlight when I saw two butterflies flying around and landed on the flowers. I was attracted by their colors and I stepped forward to have a better look, and then they flew off. Intrigued by how they get their colors on their wings, I did some research and found out interesting facts of the life cycle of the metamorphosis of a butterfly. Do you know how butterfly comes about? They go through 4 cycles, which consist of the egg, the larva grows into a caterpillar, the pupa or cocoon, and finally the beautiful butterfly. Interesting, isn't it? These 4 cycles have a purpose and help to build the DNA of the butterfly, its strengths and its character. As I read more on these 4 cycles, I could not help but relate the metamorphosis of a butterfly to that of a brand building of a brand. In fact, their group cycles are similar. Branding is a journey, and I want to take you on a brand journey of your brand transformation, specifically using the metamorphosis of a butterfly. I call it the brand metamorphosis. The first stage, which is the egg or conception, is most important. The start of the butterfly's life journey. The adult butterfly lays its egg on the leaves, and it is at this stage where some of the eggs may not evolve to the second stage of becoming a caterpillar because it is eaten up by the other insects or get washed away by the rains. Brands are born out of visions, dreams, or desires. Some brands are not able to move on from conception stage as the leadership is not committed enough to bring it to the next stage. A dream remains only a dream and nothing more. And eventually the desire is washed away, washed off, and washed out. Have you seen a caterpillar before? As it bursts from the eggs, it is a larva and then grows into a bright green and fat caterpillar. It is fat because it spends its time eating the leaves that it clings on. At this stage, the caterpillar is fat and sluggish, moving very slowly. It is actually building up its size and energy. It has to eat enough for it to pupate and change into a butterfly. At the pupa stage, the caterpillar lies in a cocoon, and inside the cocoon goes through 5 cycles where it shades its skin to finally become a butterfly and flies out of the cocoon. I liken the following stages of development of a butterfly to that of a different cycles of brand building. After a brand is conceived, it has to go through the early stages of branding, of putting in the brand vision, mission statement, culture, values, and KYC. Know your customers and know your competition. Setting their sales targets and many other things before it can be launched. The caterpillars gorging on the leaves is like that of a brand. Data mining, getting all the information to fortify the brand. At the pupa stage, it is about planning and strategizing, taking initiative to create the brand awareness, the brand identity, and the brand positioning. When these are all in place, the brand comes out from its cocoon and makes its debut. Isn't it exciting? So the analogy is, the egg is the conception of the brand. The caterpillar is the foundation of the brand. The pupa is the management of the brand. And the butterfly is the maturity of the brand, the leadership of the brand. Is the brand. Once when the butterfly flies out of the cocoon, there is so much more added work to be done to protect the lifespan of the butterfly, to make it the most majestic, most colorful, most attractive butterfly amongst the rest. And the life journey of a brand is just the same. Just like a butterfly, brands must continue to fly so that they can maintain their brand positioning and leadership. Their wings must not be clipped, if not, they will die. Similarly, a brand cannot afford to lose its wings. And we have seen many brands, including great brands, losing their wings and plunging down from the pinnacle of success because of so many unseen factors. Here is a story of a brand that was once the market leader and fell. Let's do a case study of a brand that's lost its luster and eventually faded off. Do you know which brand I'm talking about? Do you? I'm talking about Kodak. Kodak was founded in 1888, 130 years ago. Kodak was famous for more than a century for their photographic and camera film brands. The brand was so famous, the mere mention of Kodak, it is synonymous with photographic film. Before the age of digital handphones and cameras, all cameras shot would need a roll of photographic film to be embedded before the camera could capture the images. But with the advance of digitalization, the age of photographic camera roll was wiped out instantaneously. Kodak management refused to change with the times, still clinging on to their stubborn strategies despite the rising shift to digital print and camera. Do you know that Kodak even developed and patented the first handheld digital camera in 1975? Yet the company did not capitalize on their awesome brand innovation. The digital camera was quietly killed as not to cannibalize on the sales of the photographic camera roll. This wrong brand strategy would prove to be the major downfall for Kodak. Imagine in early 1980s, Kodak commanded more than 80% of the film and camera sales, almost a monopoly. Yet this commanding brand leadership slipped through their grasp. What were the missteps that Kodak did that led to its downfall? What can we learn from this so that we too can avoid the mistake made by others? Misstep number 1, Kodak's refusal to change. Why did they refuse to change? Were they contented, complacent, and conceited, thinking that as a market leader, they can hang on to whatever transformation that is happening in the industry? Kodak's unwillingness to face changes led to the biggest downfall of the brand. Changing with times is critical for brand survival. Change is constant, constantly changing for the better. Why not? Not why. Change for progress. Change is progress. Change or die. Just like do or die. Misstep number 2, Kodak's lack of foresight. In 1984, during the Los Angeles Olympics, Kodak was given the sponsorship rights to be the official film, but the company declined. Fujifilm from Japan subsequently won the sponsorship rights, which gave the fledgling Japanese company a permanent foothold in the US market. Fujifilm invested heavily in branding, marketing, and the manufacturing plant. With aggressive branding and heavy-duty punching at Kodak, Fujifilm, being the more agile competitor, would punch far ahead its weight. Fujifilm would soon deliver a knockout to Kodak to the scrapyard of history. Brand visibility must be continuous. You cannot take a back seat and expect consumers to keep thinking of you if your presence is not felt. Brand visibility builds brand invincibility and allows you to stay in power. You cannot afford to lose your brand strength, capability, and position. Always be the market leader, to be seen, to be heard, to be known, to be remembered. Misstep number 3. Kodak lost opportunities. Never lose any opportunities given for your brand to shine. Keep shining, even in the hardest and darkest moments. The moment your brand stops shining, it starts dimming. Soon the flickering lights will be gone, like the candle in the wind.
Like a candle in the wind.
The Academy Award ceremony in Hollywood is one of the most prestigious and glamorous events in the world. For a decade, this prestigious ceremony was held in Kodak Theater, as Kodak sponsored the naming rights. And during the Oscar night, the ceremony is seen by billions of audience, and Kodak signage is prominently displayed. And after 2012, sadly, it was changed from Kodak Theater to Dolby Theater as Kodak stops sponsoring. The combination of wrong brand strategy would prove to be disastrous. Kodak, so respected for more than 100 years, eventually succumbed in 2012 and filed for bankruptcy. Where Kodak signage was once visible to billions of viewers, it has since been removed. Seen no more, heard no more, known no more, and remembered no more. When opportunity is given, grab it. Sometimes you spend so much time thinking over and over the opportunity given, and by the time you have thought through, it is gone. You have lost it. In business, when your signage is removed, it means the business is over. It is finished. I can only shake my head in amazement on how Kodak lost their brand's dominance. Misstep number 4. Kodak's brand oblivion. Remember this, when your brand is out of mind, it is out of sight. Even though your brand may be a market leader, there's no place for complacency. The shifting sense of complacency invariably swallowed the Kodak brands into oblivion. Innovation is the lifeline of brands and enables you to stay relevant. However, if you have the innovation but are not willing to transform, then the end result would be disastrous. You either be transformed or be deformed. Just like Kodak, they had the technology for digital camera, but they did not want to push it to the forefront to transform and accept the reality that digital will be the way of life moving forward. That sounded the death for the brand, and those special Kodak moments that was the signature tagline of the brand just faded away. Don't let your brand fade away. When your brand falls, you need to resuscitate, renew, refresh it. But there are times it is tough to do as your competitors have gone too far ahead and you don't have the resources to catch up. So, can you see that brand building is not a walk in the park? You have to keep working your way to the top. The moment you stop working, your brand starts weakening. The moment you stop branding, your brand starts bleeding. Do you know doing something and doing the right thing are two different things? The question that is left to be answered is, are you doing the right thing for your brand? My advice to you is do the right thing and not just do something for the sake of doing. What is the right thing to do for your brand? Let me tell you, the right thing to do for your brand is to work your brand for greatness and walk it to greatness. Brand building is all about building brand greatness. Yes, your brand can be great. Make it great. To be seen, to be heard, to be known, to be remembered. Now, may I invite you to join the League of Great Brands that will be premiering on August 3rd, 2020. That is the Brand Laureate E-Branding Awards 2020. The first in the world of brands and branding. Going live with your brand. Giving your brand the winning moments, the defining moments, the highlight of your brand. Receiving the Brand Laureate Award is the pinnacle of your brand success. It sums up your brand leadership, strength, commitment, tenacity in brand building. It's a solid platform for you to overcome the current headwinds. This award is also a testimony of your brand success that will bring pride and inspiration to all your shareholders and stakeholders. And as the number one branding awards in the industry, the Brand Laureate Awards positions your brand at the forefront of your industry, which no other awards can do. Be the first to experience this revolutionary online awards presentation and savor that special brand moment, a recognition of your indisputable leadership in steering it to be the best of the best. I look forward to your participation. Please contact the Secretariat or visit our website listed for further information. And now, may I challenge you, work your brand to greatness and for greatness. When everything is down, make sure your brand is still up. When everything is at a standstill, make sure your brand still stands. When everything is doom and gloom, make sure your brand bloom and boom. Because you are simply the best, better than the rest. Be the best for your brand. You can't be wrong for your brand. And now, let me close with the story of the butterfly. Unless and until the caterpillar is transformed into a butterfly, it can't fly, it won't fly. Similarly, unless your brand is transformed for the better, it can't fly, it won't fly. Do you want your brand to fly? You must believe your brand can be transformed to fly. I leave you with this song by R. Kelly, his greatest album and number one hit. I believe I can fly. Here he talks about his experience in the song, and the lyrics is so powerful and life-transforming. You have to hear it for yourself. He said, I used to think that I could not go on. But if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. He was at the verge of breaking down. But if I can see it, I can be it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. Kelly's experience is real. And I know many of us can relate and resonate to what is said in his lyric, especially during these tough times and hard times. How many times during this lockdown have you felt like giving up on your business and on your brand and even on yourself? Especially when you don't see any possibility ahead, where there is so much uncertainties, risk and doubt. You may even be at the verge of breaking down. Let me tell you, you don't have to. Never give up on yourself. Never give up on your brand. Can you see it? Can you believe it? The potential, the positivity, and the possibility of a breakthrough during this breakdown. There is hope. See it. Believe it. Your brand can still fly and soar. It is time to spread your wings and fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. Yes, I believe I can fly. Yes, I believe you can fly. Yes, we will fly and soar together. Signing off, just me, Dr KKJohan. I can't wait to see you all in my next session.